There was a time when your silence was overlooked, when your absence was dismissed as insignificant. The whispers spoke of your downfall, of how you'd vanish without their approval, without their validation. They mocked the idea that you could survive, let alone thrive, without their presence. They were certain the world would forget you. But the world didn't forget. It watched, quietly, as you rebuilt yourself from the ground up, brick by unforgiving brick. Now, your name carries weight. Your shadow looms large. And the same people who turned their backs feel the cold sting of regret. Rising alone is not a victory born of ease. It is the triumph of endurance. The nights were long, the struggle unrelenting. But through it all, you stood unbroken. Every setback, every betrayal, every cruel word thrown your way only fueled your ascent. The solitude that was meant to destroy you became your sanctuary. While others drowned in their need for validation, you found freedom in isolation. Now, as you stand at the summit of your success, those who once laughed at your pain are drawn to your light, like moths to a flame. When you rise alone, you carry with you a kind of power that terrifies the weak. It is the power of self-sufficiency, of knowing you owe nothing to anyone. They tried to diminish your worth, to make you doubt your place, but your rise was an act of defiance, a declaration that your value was never theirs to decide. Now, as they circle back, seeking to reclaim a piece of what they discarded, the irony is almost poetic. Their hands, once full of stones, now reach out in desperation. The sting of regret is sharper than any insult. Those who left you in the dark now find themselves drowning in shadows of their own making. They thought your isolation would break you, but instead, it fortified you. Their betrayal was your catalyst, their doubts, the very fire that forged your strength. And now, as they look at you, standing tall, untouchable, they are haunted by the realization that they never understood your worth until it was far beyond their reach. Returning to the ones who abandoned you is a temptation for the weak, but not for you. Your rise was born of solitude, of the harsh lessons learned in the absence of those who should have stood by your side. Accepting them back would be an admission of dependence, a betrayal of the very strength you've built. The same doors they closed in your face now swing open, but you have no need to walk through them. Their world no longer holds anything you desire. The faces of those who return are painted with forced smiles, their voices thick with insincerity. They speak of unity, of reconciliation, as though the wounds they inflicted could be so easily forgotten. But your memory is long, your scars, a reminder of the battles fought and won alone. Forgiveness is not weakness, but neither is it a gift to be handed freely. Let them beg. Let them stumble over their words. Their regret is their burden to carry, not yours to absolve. When people leave, they often expect the world to revolve around their absence. They assume you will falter, that you will crumble under the weight of their departure. But your rise was a lesson in defiance, a statement that you were never dependent on anyone but yourself. Now, as they watch from below, their envy is palpable. They speak of alliances, of second chances, but their motives are clear. They want what you have, not who you are. The irony of their return is almost laughable. Those who dismissed your potential now sing your praises, their voices trembling with desperation. They want to align themselves with your success, to bask in the glow of what you built. But success, earned alone, is a fortress, and the walls are high. Let them call from the outside. their voices echoing in the emptiness they once left behind. Their words hold no power, for your strength lies in knowing you rose without them. Rising alone does more than set you apart. It makes you untouchable. Your journey, forged in isolation, has rendered you immune to the manipulations of those who once sought to tear you down. They return, not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of being forgotten, of being left behind as your shadow grows ever longer. Their return is a testament to your power, a silent admission of their failure to break you. They want back what they discarded, but all they can do now is watch. You built yourself in the void they created, and now that void swallows them whole. Their hands, once so eager to let you go, now reach out in desperation. But your rise has changed the game, and the rules are yours to write. Light and love are not gifts handed down from the outside. They are forces born within, forged in the crucible of our own existence. People seek to claim them, to dim them, to control the brilliance they cannot replicate. Those who once discarded you now return, wearing masks of regret, speaking of new beginnings. They come not for the light you found, but for the power it exudes. They hope to bask in it, to siphon it away. But the light within you is not for them. It is yours, fiercely guarded, untouchable, by those who seek only to consume. The universe moves with intelligence, an unyielding current of purpose that aligns only with those who respect its flow. Those who used you are out of step, stumbling, disconnected from this rhythm. Their return is not an act of repentance, but a calculated attempt to regain control, to reinsert themselves into a narrative they lost the right to long ago. They see your light now, the strength of what you've become, and mistake it for something they can wield. But this time, you see them clearly, stripped of their disguises, their intentions laid bare in the shadow of your growth. Within you lies a reservoir of power, far greater than they ever imagined. This light, this intelligence, is not fragile. It is feral, wild, a force that cannot be tamed by the hands that tried to break it. They speak of love now, of unity, hoping their words will disarm you. But love, real love, does not take. It gives. It supports. It strengthens. What they offer is not love, but control dressed in false sincerity. Let them choke on their pretense. The love you carry within you is not something they can touch. Cycles are the most dangerous traps, and they thrive on repetition. Those who once drained you will try again, circling back with promises of change. They seek to pull you into the same patterns, to rewind the clock to a time when they held the power. But you are no longer the person they remember. The light within you has burned away those old ties, leaving no room for their manipulations. To let them back in is to invite chaos into your sanctuary, to allow their darkness to shadow your hard-won clarity. There is a cruelty in their return, a silent admission of their failure to find elsewhere what they discarded in you. They underestimated your resilience, your ability to rise without their approval. And now that you've proven them wrong, their envy festers. They think your growth can somehow be undone, that the cycle can begin anew. But the light within you does not regress. It expands. It grows brighter with every moment you choose yourself over them. Their attempts to reclaim you are futile, for you've outgrown the shadows they cast. The intelligence of the universe is in your blood, your breath, your being. It pulses within you, guiding you toward those who lift you higher, away from those who drag you down. People who used you once will always try to return, for they see your light, not as something sacred, but as something useful. They want to repeat the cycle because they cannot create their own light, cannot sustain themselves without dimming yours. But you've learned now. You've learned to guard your energy, to let the universe guide you toward what aligns with your soul, not what drains it. Love is the purest force, but it is also the most misunderstood. People often confuse love with possession, with the need to control, to keep someone under their thumb. The love within you does not conform to those definitions. It is free, fierce, a fire that cannot be extinguished by the hands of the undeserving. Those who used you will never understand this kind of love, for it exists beyond their comprehension. They only know how to take. But your light was never theirs to take in the first place. People will always return to the source of what they lack, but that does not mean you are obligated to receive them. The light you carry is not a revolving door for those who failed to appreciate it. It is a force to be cherished, protected, shared only with those who respect it. The universe is vast, filled with those who will see your worth without needing to be convinced. Let those who underestimated you find their own way in the dark, for your path is lit with the brilliance they could never match. You rose alone, and now the world sees you for what you are: a force, a light, an unstoppable presence. Those who abandoned you want back what they lost, but their regret is not your burden to carry. Let them want. Let them linger in their longing, for their cycle of need is their prison. The light within you is yours, a beacon that guides you forward, untethered to their return. Toxic people only change their victims, never themselves. Remember that. Toxicity is a disease of the soul, a sickness that masquerades as strength. Those who carry it spread it like wildfire, moving from one victim to the next, leaving scars and ashes in their wake. They latch onto your energy, feeding on your spirit like parasites, taking all they can while giving nothing in return. But the one thing they never do is change. Their patterns remain the same, their games predictable, their damage inevitable. They don't evolve, they infect. They are drawn to light, not to bask in it, but to extinguish it. When toxic people enter your life, they rewrite your story in their own image. Their words are designed to make you doubt yourself. Their actions calculated to make you question your worth. They break you down piece by piece, not because of who you are, but because of who they are not. Their emptiness is a void they try to fill with the energy of others, and those who allow them in are left drained, unrecognizable. But the irony is that even when they succeed in breaking someone, it changes nothing for them. They remain hollow, searching for their next target. Toxic people are creatures of habit. They repeat the same cycles, the same manipulations, the same destruction, over and over again. Each new victim is a mirror they hope will reflect something different, something better. But mirrors only show what stands before them, and no matter how many they shatter, the reflection never changes. Toxicity is a prison, and its captives are blind to their own chains. They harm others, not to heal themselves, but to avoid confronting the depths of their own brokenness. The illusion of change is one of their most powerful weapons. They speak of growth, of learning from their mistakes, of becoming better. But their words are empty, their promises meaningless. Change requires introspection, accountability, and a willingness to face one's flaws. Toxic people lack these qualities. They are architects of blame, experts in shifting responsibility to everyone but themselves. Their apologies are tools, their remorse a performance. And when the curtain falls, they are the same as they have always been. Their only evolution is in the sophistication of their manipulation. With each victim, they refine their methods, learn new ways to twist emotions, new strategies to erode confidence. They study their targets, adapting to their vulnerabilities, exploiting their fears. But while their tactics may evolve, their essence remains the same. A black hole of need, consuming everything in its path while giving nothing in return. They change their masks, their words, their approach, but never their core. Their toxicity is constant, unyielding. For those who rise from their grasp, the scars remain long after the chains are broken. Toxic people leave marks, imprints of their chaos that linger in the mind, the heart, the soul. But those marks are not signs of weakness. They are symbols of survival. To endure a toxic person's influence and emerge stronger is a testament to resilience. It is proof that their efforts to break you failed, that their poison was not enough to extinguish your fire. The scars they leave are reminders, not of their power, but of your strength. The most dangerous thing about toxic people is their ability to make you doubt yourself. They thrive on insecurity, feeding on the cracks in your confidence until those cracks become chasms. But their power lies only in what you allow them to take. Once you recognize their patterns, their influence begins to fade. Awareness is the antidote to their manipulation, and the moment you see them for what they are, their hold on you begins to slip. They push harder, desperate to reclaim their grip, but their desperation is their undoing. Toxic people are drawn to strength, not because they admire it, but because they want to destroy it. Your light exposes their shadows. Your confidence highlights their insecurity. They attack what they cannot be, seeking to bring it down to their level. But strength that has endured their storm becomes unshakable. Their attempts to return to your life are not acts of love or regret. They are acts of desperation, an effort to reclaim the power they once had over you. They want you back, not because they've changed, but because they cannot stand to see you thrive without them. The cycle of toxicity is one they hope to repeat, but you hold the power to break it. They only return to those who allow them back in, who mistake their false promises for genuine remorse. But you've learned now. You've seen their games, felt their poison, and risen above it. To let them back in is to reopen old wounds, to give them another chance to harm you. But you are no longer the person they once knew. Your strength, your growth, your light, it all stands as a barrier they can no longer breach. There are those whose existence is consumed by shadow, not because the world has denied them light, but because they have chosen to dwell in their own darkness. They crave the warmth of your fire, the brilliance of your glow, but not to bask in it. No, they come with the intent to destroy, to watch your light flicker and fade, if only to fill their void with the briefest spark. Their darkness demands sacrifices, and they have no hesitation in offering you up to it. You've felt their touch before, the cold hand of their chaos, reaching for your peace. And yet they circle back, hoping to repeat what once was. The familiar has a seductive pull. Those who seek to re-enter your life know this well. Their faces, their voices, their memories. They carry with them the comfort of what was, even if what was nearly destroyed you. They whisper of change, of reconciliation. But their words are laced with the same darkness that burned you before. It's tempting, isn't it? To believe in the lie of familiarity, to think that perhaps this time will be different. But familiarity is the sharpest blade, one that cuts deep because it knows exactly where to strike. Growth demands distance. Those who burned you once will do so again, not because they hate you, but because they cannot bear the light you carry. Their darkness blinds them, twists their intentions into acts of destruction. To let them back in is to invite the chaos you've fought so hard to escape. Your growth is fragile, delicate, a plant reaching toward the sun after a storm. Letting them back in is like opening the door to that storm once more, knowing full well it seeks to uproot you. They speak of change, but their darkness remains. They promise a new beginning, but their shadows loom just as large. People who live in darkness do not change. They adapt. They find new ways to dim your light, to weave themselves into your life under the guise of something new. But beneath the surface, they are the same. Their darkness is not a temporary state. It is their nature. Letting them back in is not just a risk. It's a betrayal of everything you've built, everything you've fought to protect. The human mind craves what it knows. Even the toxic can feel like home when you've lived with it long enough. They know this, and they play to it, using your memories as keys to unlock doors you've worked so hard to close. But the past is a trap, a web spun to catch you in its threads. Growth means stepping forward, not backward. And those who burned you before are nothing but anchors to the life you've left behind. You cannot move forward while holding on to the weight of what once was. They will come with apologies, with promises, with tears in their eyes. They will paint themselves as victims, as souls who've seen the error of their ways. But their tears are crocodile tears. Their apologies empty gestures designed to lower your defenses. Their goal is not to make amends, but to regain access, to return to the place they once held in your life. They don't miss you. They miss the power they had over you. Let them cry. Let them beg. Their darkness has no place in your light. Darkness is clever. It knows how to disguise itself, how to twist your own kindness against you. They will remind you of the good times, the laughter, the moments that felt real. But those moments were the bait, not the bond. The fire they brought into your life was never meant to warm you, only to burn. Their return is not a second chance. It is a continuation of the same cycle, a cycle you broke when you chose to rise alone. Let their darkness remain where it belongs, outside the walls you've built. Your light is your own. It was not given to you by those who hurt you, and it cannot be taken by their return. But to guard it requires vigilance, a refusal to let the familiar dictate your choices. Growth is uncomfortable. It demands sacrifices, hard decisions, and a willingness to say no. Saying no to those who burned you once is not cruelty. It is survival. It is the ultimate act of self-respect, a declaration that your light will not be dimmed for the comfort of those who thrive in shadow. They will always want back what they cannot have: your growth, your light, your strength. It terrifies them because it reminds them of what they lack. Their darkness is their prison. Betrayal is a weapon that wounds both the giver and the receiver, but its scars run deeper for the one who wields it. Those who craft betrayal think it's an act of power, a declaration of control over another's fate. Yet betrayal is a boomerang, circling back with precision, slicing through the illusions of victory they once celebrated. Every treachery writes a chapter in the betrayer's story, a tale that will end in darkness. The act of betrayal isn't just a single choice. It's a fracture of the soul. With every lie told, with every trust shattered, the betrayer loses a piece of themselves. It's a slow erosion, like water wearing down stone. They might bask in the fleeting satisfaction of their deceit, but beneath the surface, guilt festers, and regret waits to pounce. The clock ticks, and their mask begins to slip. Betrayal builds its own prison, brick by brick. The walls are made of paranoia, as the betrayer constantly looks over their shoulder, waiting for the retribution they know is inevitable. They trust no one, not even themselves, because they understand the weight of betrayal. How can a mind rest when it knows its actions have sown seeds of vengeance? There's no sanctuary for the betrayer, no safe haven to escape the ghosts of their deeds. Betrayal doesn't die, it lingers, haunting the corners of their existence. It shows up in unexpected moments: a friend's glance, a lover's words, a stranger's stare, reminding them of the choices they made and the trust they destroyed. The world becomes a mirror reflecting their own treachery. Betrayal is a debt that demands payment. No amount of denial can erase the weight of that demand. They may try to bury the evidence, erase the memories, rewrite the narrative, but the consequences are always waiting, patient and persistent. The betrayer doesn't just lose the people they've wronged. They lose their peace, their freedom, their humanity. The mark of betrayal is indelible. It brands the soul of the one who commits it, a scar that no apology can erase. They might convince themselves that time will heal the wounds, but time is no ally to the betrayer. Time reveals, time magnifies, time punishes. The longer they wait, the heavier the burden becomes, until it crushes them under its weight. Betrayal poisons everything it touches. The betrayer's relationships become strained, their connections hollow, their lives devoid of authenticity. They become actors in their own lives, playing roles to mask the emptiness inside. The love they seek becomes elusive. The trust they crave becomes unattainable, and the life they once dreamed of slips further out of reach. To betray is to declare war against the natural order of things. The betrayer believes they can outsmart fate, manipulate outcomes, escape accountability. But betrayal sets forces in motion that cannot be stopped. Karma may be unseen, but it is relentless, precise, and inescapable. The betrayer's downfall is not a matter of if, but when. The most chilling part of betrayal is its silence. The one betrayed moves on, finds strength, rebuilds, while the betrayer rots in their own solitude. The tables turn without warning, and the betrayer finds themselves abandoned, their cries for redemption met with indifference. The world doesn't mourn their suffering. It watches with cold detachment as justice takes its course. Betrayal writes its own ending, and no one escapes the consequences. The betrayed rise, stronger and unbroken, while the betrayer falls, consumed by the weight of their own actions. Treachery doesn't grant freedom. It chains the soul in regret, ensuring that every step forward is shadowed by the past. Betrayal has a cost, and it demands to be paid in full. Life, at its core, is a storm. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every wound is a pocket of turbulence, shaking you to your core, daring you to spiral out of control. But the secret lies not in fighting the storm, but in rising above it. Turbulence cannot touch what soars higher. The plane doesn't ask for the winds to calm. It pierces through, unshaken, guided by the hands of its pilot. You are that pilot, and you decide where the journey takes you. Hurt is inevitable, but wallowing in its chaos is a choice. Pain tries to drag you into the storm, seducing you with the comfort of anger and despair. Yet, above the clouds, there is light, a clarity that the storm can never reach. Flying above the hurt means refusing to let it define you. It means looking down at the storm and knowing it has no power over the altitude you've chosen for yourself. Betrayal cuts deeper than most wounds because it comes from those you once trusted. The instinct is to crash, to let the betrayal ground you in bitterness and vengeance. But flight demands letting go of the weight that anchors you. Rise above the betrayal, not for them, but for yourself. You are the only constant in your journey, the only one who matters in the cockpit of your life. Anger is fire, consuming, destructive, and captivating. It can feel like fuel, but it burns out quickly, leaving you with ashes and regret. Flying above anger is not about denial. It's about mastery. The fire cannot consume what is out of reach. Use its heat to propel you, but never let it dictate your course. The plane needs focus, not fury. The skies are always turbulent for those who let others steer their journey. The key is knowing that the controls are in your hands. Those who betrayed you want to clip your wings, to see you crash, to make you doubt your ability to soar. But the higher you fly, the smaller their attempts become. The horizon stretches endlessly for those who dare to look beyond the clouds. Peace is found above the noise. In the storm, there is chaos, confusion, manipulation. But above it lies silence, a clarity that cannot be shaken. Choosing to rise above is not a sign of weakness, but of power. Those who cause the turbulence hope to see you flounder, but your flight is proof that you control your destiny. Not them, not the winds, not the storm. The view from above is unmatched. Every betrayal, every hurt, every moment of doubt becomes a speck in the vastness of your journey. Flying higher isn't about forgetting what's below. It's about gaining perspective. The storm you left behind was loud, but from up here, it's insignificant. Its roar reduced to a whisper you no longer care to hear. To fly above it all is not to escape. It's to transcend. You carry the lessons with you, the scars that shaped you, the wisdom forged in the fire. But you refuse to let those lessons weigh you down. The plane ascends because you shed what no longer serves you. The storm loses its grip because you chose not to fight it, but to rise beyond it. Not everyone is meant to join you at this altitude. Some will cling to the ground, trapped in their storms, hoping to pull you down with them. But you are the pilot, and the plane is yours alone. The turbulence will try to shake you, but it cannot touch the resolve that keeps you flying. The higher you climb, the fewer voices you hear, and the clearer your path becomes. The storm rages on, but you are untouchable. Hurt, betrayal, anger, they all remain below, powerless against the one who chose to rise. The skies are yours. The controls in your hands. Let the storm watch in vain as you disappear into the light above. Betrayal answers betrayal. The mask of love is answered by the disappearance of love. Betrayal is the great unmasker. It reveals the hollowness behind words once spoken in tenderness, exposing the charade of loyalty wrapped in deceit. Love, when used as a weapon, does not wound lightly. It eviscerates. But here's the irony. Love doesn't shatter when betrayed. It vanishes. What was warm and embracing turns cold and unforgiving. And the absence left behind is more haunting than the betrayal itself. When love departs, it takes with it all the illusions that sustain the bond. The betrayer often underestimates the void they create. They expect a fight, a plea for reconciliation. But what they face is silence, an emptiness that echoes their actions back to them. Betrayal does not destroy love. It erases it, leaving only memories that sting and shadows that remind. Betrayal feeds on love's vulnerability. The mask of affection, when removed, reveals a predator that thrives on the trust it has devoured. But every predator meets its reckoning. The betrayed learns to shield themselves, to withdraw the love that once gave the betrayer power. There's no greater vengeance than the absence of what was once freely given. The betrayer is left chasing phantoms of a connection they themselves destroyed. The disappearance of love is not a loss. It is a liberation. Betrayal forces clarity, stripping away pretense, leaving behind the raw, unfiltered truth of what was and what never could be. To walk away, to let love fade, is not weakness. It is reclaiming power, a refusal to let the betrayer dictate the narrative. Every betrayal writes its own eulogy. The love that once existed becomes a ghost, haunting the betrayer, reminding them of what they had and what they lost. The betrayed, however, walks forward unburdened, leaving the ashes of that love behind. What once defined them is now a lesson, a scar, a memory with no grip on the future. Betrayal cannot exist without trust, just as the mask of love cannot exist without a willing participant. But the moment betrayal strikes, the mask shatters and love evaporates. The bond that once seemed unbreakable becomes a cautionary tale, a reminder of the cost of misplaced faith. The absence of love is a mirror for the betrayer. They see not the person they betrayed, but the reflection of their own inadequacies. Love's departure leaves a void that no amount of excuses or justifications can fill. The betrayed moves forward. The betrayer stagnates, trapped in the shadow of their own actions. The mask of love, when torn away, reveals not just the betrayer's face, but their soul, empty, desperate, devoid of light. The disappearance of love is the price paid for betrayal, and it is a debt that accrues interest. The betrayer learns too late that love, once gone, never returns. Betrayal teaches the betrayed resilience, clarity, and the strength to move forward unencumbered. The disappearance of love is not an end, but a beginning. It is a cleansing, a release, a step towards something better, something untouchable by deceit. And in the absence of love, the betrayed finds their own worth, untethered from the wounds inflicted. The vanishing of love leaves no room for second chances. Betrayal answers betrayal, and the betrayer is left with nothing but the weight of their actions. In law, a man is guilty when he violates the rights of others. In ethics, he is guilty if he only thinks of doing so. Intent is the birthplace of every betrayal. Before the blade of action strikes, the thought is forged in the dark corners of the mind. The law punishes what is seen, but ethics condemns what festers in silence. A man who entertains treachery in his thoughts has already sown the seeds of guilt long before his actions bear their poisoned fruit. Guilt begins where morality whispers its warnings. The line between thought and deed is thin, but it exists, dividing those who simply think of harm from those who commit it. Yet, in that moment of consideration, a betrayal against oneself occurs. To think of violating another is to breach one's own integrity, to crack the foundation of one's character. A man who plots betrayal in his mind believes himself untouchable. He imagines his thoughts are his own, safe from judgment. But the mind is not a fortress. It leaks intentions through subtle words, through glances, through actions too calculated to be innocent. The guilty mind betrays itself long before it harms others. There is no absolution in thought alone. To dwell on betrayal is to poison the well from which all actions flow. The man who toys with unethical thoughts believes he can contain them, that they will remain ideas, intangible and harmless. But thoughts grow roots, and those roots will crack the strongest of facades. The law waits for evidence, for proof that harm was done. Ethics, however, demands accountability the moment intent is born. Guilt is not a matter of action. It is the willingness to disregard another's dignity for one's own gain. The betrayer is condemned, not when he acts, but when he chooses to consider betrayal an option. Ethical guilt is a shadow that lingers, unseen, but ever present. It corrupts the mind, warps the spirit, and ensures that even unacted betrayal leaves scars. The man who allows treachery into his thoughts is forever haunted by what could have been, by the person he might have become had he acted differently. To betray in thought is to deny the humanity of another, to strip them of their inherent worth in the quiet chambers of one's mind. It is a crime that leaves no visible evidence, but stains the soul irreparably. The man who considers betrayal is as guilty as the man who wields the dagger, for both have chosen to abandon their moral compass. There is no peace for the man who betrays through thought alone. His guilt festers, a constant reminder of his capacity for harm. The absence of action does not absolve him. It only ensures that his punishment comes from within, relentless and unyielding. The betrayer often believes his thoughts are fleeting, inconsequential. Yet, every thought plants a seed, and those seeds grow into the forest of his character. To think of violating another's rights is to nurture a future betrayal, to prepare the stage for inevitable harm. In ethics, there is no escape from intent. The man who allows betrayal into his thoughts betrays not only others, but himself. He becomes a prisoner of his own guilt, trapped in a cycle of self-loathing and denial. The mind cannot lie to itself forever. Eventually, the guilt will surface, demanding reckoning. The highest, most decisive experience is to be alone with one's own self. You must be alone to find out what supports you, when you find that you cannot support yourself. Only this experience can give you an indestructible foundation. Solitude is the crucible of transformation. It strips away the distractions, the noise, the clamor of outside opinions, leaving you face to face with the raw essence of who you are. There is no mask to wear, no lies to hide behind when you're alone. In this void, you confront your fears, your strengths, your weaknesses, and most of all, your reality. The weight of this silence can either crush you or forge you into something indestructible. The greatest betrayals are not the ones inflicted by others, but those we commit against ourselves. To live a life molded by others' expectations is to deny your soul its voice. Solitude forces a reckoning, a trial of the self. When no one is left to lean on, you find whether your foundation is built on stone or sand. And if it is sand, solitude gives you the tools to rebuild. People fear being alone because it reveals their vulnerabilities. But those vulnerabilities are the blueprint for resilience. Solitude doesn't destroy you. It reveals the cracks that need to be sealed. the weaknesses that need to be strengthened. To emerge from this trial is to carry a strength that no betrayal can shatter. The silence of solitude is louder than any accusation, any betrayal. It is a mirror reflecting your inner world, forcing you to see what you've hidden from yourself. It is in this silence that the betrayed find their redemption. The emptiness left by betrayal becomes the space to rebuild, to reclaim power and purpose. Solitude is not a punishment. It is a sanctuary. It is the place where you learn that you don't need the approval, the validation, or the presence of others to thrive. It teaches you that self-respect and self-reliance are the only things no one can take away from you. Once you've learned this, you become untouchable. The world admires strength, but often misunderstands its origin. Strength is not born in the company of others, but in the quiet of your own thoughts. It is forged when you stand alone, without excuses, without distractions, and choose to rise. Solitude does not make you weak. It makes you self-sufficient, and that is terrifying to those who betrayed you. To stand alone is to understand that your worth is not determined by anyone else. Solitude gives you the courage to set boundaries, to refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. In this space, you don't just survive betrayal, you transcend it. Those who sought to break you are left watching as you become someone they can no longer reach. Betrayal creates a vacuum, a silence that screams to be filled. Most people rush to fill it with distractions, relationships, anything to avoid the confrontation with themselves. But those who embrace solitude find something far greater. They find their core, their essence, and from this place, they rebuild not just a life, but a fortress. The person who emerges from solitude is unrecognizable to those who once sought to manipulate them. The betrayed becomes the unshakable, the untouchable, because they have faced the darkest parts of themselves and found light. Solitude is not an escape. It is a return to what is real and eternal within you. Solitude is the ultimate betrayal to those who betrayed you. It denies them the satisfaction of seeing you crumble. It robs them of their power because you reclaim every piece of yourself that you once gave away. They can't escape the consequences of betrayal. For solitude teaches you to rise above the ashes of their deceit. Walking away is an art form, one that few master. The sound of your footsteps fading into the distance leaves a silence more deafening than any argument ever could. You didn't slam doors or scream. There was no dramatic flourish to your exit. No, your departure was quiet, a ghostly whisper that echoed louder in their minds than any declaration. What they never expected was the void left behind. It hangs heavy, a crushing emptiness where your presence used to be. You walked away, and that absence became a wound, festering in the hearts of those who never imagined they'd lose you. People who once underestimated your worth are now haunted by your absence. The spaces you filled, the conversations you owned, the laughter that belonged to you, all of it is now a void. What was taken for granted has become a painful memory, a specter that lingers with no promise of returning. They thought they'd be fine, that your exit wouldn't leave a mark. But people only realize the value of what's lost when it's gone forever. Your departure shattered illusions, left cracks in the walls of their carefully constructed world. Now they sit in the silence, breaking under the weight of your absence. There's a delicious irony in watching those who pushed you away now struggle in the aftermath. Once, they believed they had the upper hand, felt secure in the knowledge that you'd always be around. But you knew your power. You knew that leaving would be the final move, the checkmate in a game they never even realized you were playing. Walking away wasn't an act of surrender. It was the ultimate statement. You chose not to fight, not to prove your worth. You chose to leave, to let your absence speak louder than your presence ever could. When someone strong walks away, the entire world shifts. There is no greater blow than the loss of someone who once held everything together, who gave meaning to mundane moments. They didn't see it coming. The shock of it lingers, a bitter aftertaste they can't shake. Your exit was a silent earthquake, leaving devastation that words can't mend. Those left behind stumble in the ruins, trying to piece together what went wrong, replaying every moment, every word, in an endless loop of regret. The realization is slow, but it cuts deep. You were irreplaceable, and now you're gone. Watching them try to recover is like observing a pathetic theater of desperation. They attempt to rebuild, to move on, but nothing fits the way it used to. The puzzle is incomplete, and every missing piece is a reminder of you. They speak your name in hushed tones, afraid that saying it out loud might summon the past. But you are beyond their reach now, beyond their apologies and their too-late realizations. Walking away was your final act, a ghost story they'll never escape. They thought they could live without you. Now they're shattered. And you never looked back. Leaving wasn't an act of cruelty. It was an act of self-preservation. You saved yourself from a place where your value was questioned, where your kindness was mistaken for weakness. People often confuse loyalty with obligation, expecting you to stay even when your spirit screams for freedom. But you listened to that inner voice, the one that told you to walk away. There is no shame in leaving what no longer serves you, no guilt in choosing your own peace over their chaos. You walked away, and the echo of that decision reverberates through the lives of those who once tried to cage you. The strongest lesson you ever taught was in your silence. Words can be forgotten, arguments can be dismissed, but silence is eternal. It haunts, it echoes, it cannot be reasoned away. You left a void that no one can fill, a presence that lingers in every room, every memory. People spend their whole lives trying to make an impact, to be remembered. But your absence became your legacy, a haunting presence that stays with them, reminding them of the cost of underestimating someone who had the strength to leave. Regret is a slow poison. It seeps into the mind, twisting memories, tainting every happy moment with the bitterness of what could have been. The worst part of losing you is that there's no way to turn back time, no way to undo the past. People wish for second chances, but you've closed that chapter. They learn too late that pride and ego mean nothing when faced with the reality of loss. You walked away, and with that single act, you shattered their illusions, made them question everything they thought they knew. You didn't walk away to teach a lesson, but a lesson was taught nonetheless. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet departure, the refusal to engage, the silent acknowledgement of your own worth. Walking away was a declaration of self-love, a message that needed no explanation. And now, as the dust settles, those who thought you'd return are left with the ruins of their own making. Attachment is the great fabricator of illusions. Reality can be attained only by someone who is detached. Attachment blinds, warps the senses, and clouds judgment. It whispers sweet lies, draping the world in fantasies that seduce the mind into believing in permanence, in forever. But reality is a blade that cuts through such illusions, and those who cling too tightly to what is fleeting find themselves bleeding from self-inflicted wounds. Detachment is liberation, a state of understanding that nothing is truly owned, that everything is borrowed, temporary. Only the detached can see clearly, untainted by the poison of false hope or the fear of inevitable loss. Those who remain tethered to illusions suffer most when reality strikes. Detachment is a villainous art, one that requires a heart of iron and a mind of steel. It isn't coldness, but wisdom, a knowledge that everything, every person, every place will eventually slip away. The detached see the world for what it is, a theater of impermanence, a stage where actors come and go, playing roles that never last. Attachment binds the soul in chains, makes one a slave to the outcomes of others, to the whims of fate. But those who let go, who embrace detachment, walk freely, untouchable by the petty strings that control lesser beings. The illusion of attachment is that it offers comfort, security, a sense of belonging. But comfort is often a cage in disguise, a prison built from fear and false promises. People cling to relationships, to material things, to dreams that will inevitably decay. They cling because letting go terrifies them, because the unknown seems like a black hole, a void ready to swallow them whole. But those who embrace detachment find that the void is not empty. It is freedom. It is possibility. There is strength in releasing, in accepting that nothing belongs to you. And that's a power few are brave enough to wield. To detach is to master reality. It is to rip away the veil that attachment creates, to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. The detached are not heartless. They simply understand that life's beauty lies in its impermanence. There's a thrill, a dark delight, in knowing that nothing lasts forever, that every moment is a fleeting gift rather than an owed promise. While others fight and cry to hold on to the illusion, the detached walk away, free from the chains that others willingly wear. They have nothing to lose because they understand that nothing was ever truly theirs. People hate those who have mastered detachment. It terrifies them. This idea of someone who cannot be controlled by love, by fear, by desire. The detached become enigmas, forces of nature that cannot be swayed. They watch the world burn without flinching, walk away from what others would die to protect, and that makes them dangerous. Attachment is a weapon that most use to control and to be controlled. But when that weapon has no effect, when it shatters uselessly against an iron will, there is nothing left to do but tremble in the face of such untouchable power. There is a purity to detachment, a raw clarity that those who live in illusions can never understand. It is a state of being that cannot be bought or forced, only earned through suffering and self-mastery. When someone walks away without looking back, without regret or longing, it creates a ripple of fear in those who remain bound by their illusions. They wonder how it is possible to care so little, to be so free. But the detached are not empty. They are full of the knowledge that life is transitory, that everything ends. They are not immune to pain, but they are no longer ruled by it. Attachment feeds on the need for validation, on the hope that something outside oneself can bring lasting fulfillment. Detachment destroys that illusion, teaches the hard lesson that nothing external can fill the void. It is a villainous enlightenment, one that grants strength but robs innocence. The world wants people to believe in forever, to think that holding on is heroic, but detachment is the true act of bravery. It is choosing to face reality, to accept loss without being consumed by it, to love without being enslaved by love. It is a silent rebellion against a world obsessed with ownership. Walking away with detachment is an act of power, a statement that nothing can hold you. People fall apart at the idea of losing, but the detached understand that loss is just a part of life's dark poetry. They do not flinch, do not waver. They move forward, eyes unclouded, spirits unbroken. This kind of strength doesn't need to boast or threaten. It simply exists, a quiet storm that others cannot comprehend. While attachment breeds desperation, detachment births something infinitely more powerful: the ability to choose, to be deliberate, to never be a slave to emotions or circumstances. The world will never understand those who are truly free. It romanticizes attachment, paints it as noble, as beautiful. Your heart must become a sea of love. Your mind must become a river of detachment. A heart filled with love is a force, vast and relentless, like a sea that never ends. Love can be a strength, a weapon, a promise. But even the deepest love must not entangle the mind. Love flows freely, embraces all, yet knows when to release. To wield love and not be ensnared by it is the ultimate power, an art few understand. Your heart may be full, but your mind must stay like a river, always moving, never stagnant. It learns to let go, to accept change, to carry away what no longer belongs. Together, this creates a balance that is both beautiful and terrifying. Love without detachment becomes a prison, a suffocating tide that pulls you under. When the heart overpowers the mind, emotions take control, chaining you to expectations, fears, and desires that poison the soul. But a mind that knows detachment remains fluid, adapting, never clinging to illusions or false hopes. It understands that love must never become obsession, that giving doesn't mean surrendering. In this way, you become a paradox, a heart that loves deeply, and a mind that holds nothing. The world won't understand how you can be both, and that's where your power lies. To master this duality is to become invincible. People think love makes you weak, makes you vulnerable, but when paired with detachment, it is the opposite. Your heart gives endlessly, yet your mind never traps itself in the need to receive. The balance is a dance, a razor's edge, a villainous grace that others envy but fear. They cannot comprehend how you can love yet walk away when needed, how you can give your all but remain unbound. This mastery leaves them bewildered, shattered by the enigma that is your soul. Love flows, attachment drowns. You've learned the difference. The sea of love in your heart must be vast enough to forgive, but never blind enough to forget. Love, in its purest form, is unconditional, but the river of your mind knows when to carry betrayal and disappointment far away. It refuses to let pain settle, refuses to let sorrow become a permanent resident. Detachment doesn't mean a lack of feeling. It means knowing that feelings are waves, always in motion, never still. This understanding makes you feared. You love, but you are not ruled. You feel, but you are never consumed. You know when to let go. Others become slaves to their emotions, unable to separate love from possession, desire from control. But you You have learned that holding on too tightly poisons what is most beautiful. Your heart loves fiercely, but your mind releases easily. This confuses those who only know love as a chain, a binding force. They see your ability to detach as coldness, not understanding that it is wisdom. Your love remains untainted because your mind refuses to let it rot in the murky waters of attachment. It keeps moving, keeps flowing, purifying itself with each release. There is a villainous joy in knowing your heart can be a sea and your mind a river. People expect love to be a weakness, a vulnerability to exploit. But for you, love is strength, and detachment is armor. They try to hurt you, thinking your love will trap you, that your emotions will chain you to them. But when the river flows, when you let go without hesitation, their power crumbles. They realize too late that you are not bound, not caught in their web of manipulation. You loved, but you never needed. You gave, but you never lost yourself. The greatest weapon is a heart full of love and a mind full of clarity. People think they can tether you, that your love will make you stay, make you bend to their will. But your river of detachment is unstoppable. It sweeps away all expectations, all disappointments. You move forward, always forward, never anchored to what tried to drown you. It is a dark, beautiful thing to witness. Love that does not break, that cannot be used or corrupted. They watch as you love without losing, give without being drained, and it terrifies them. They say love conquers all, but you know better. Love, without wisdom, destroys more than it heals. Your heart must be vast, but your mind must be vigilant. Together, they create an empire of strength that no betrayal, no disappointment can bring down. You remain whole, undamaged, even when the world throws its worst at you. This is the secret to your survival, the reason you walk away unscarred while others are left in ruins. You've mastered the art of loving without attachment, and in a world of broken promises, this makes you untouchable. Every wave of love you send out returns to you, but nothing binds you, nothing roots you in the mud of past disappointments. Your mind, always flowing, always free, refuses to hold on to pain. It's a villainous power, a godlike ability to be both compassionate and ruthless, loving and detached. This duality keeps you invincible, a riddle no one can solve. They watch, unable to understand how you give so much yet never feel empty. But the secret lies in your detachment, in your refusal to let love become a trap. You remain, always, your own. Walking away became your art form, a silent act of self-preservation. While they clung to what was broken, you chose freedom, chose to flow forward like a river. Their illusions shattered when you left, and all that remains is the echo of what could have been. Release and detach from every person, every circumstance, every condition, and every situation that no longer serves a divine purpose in your life. Life's cycles are merciless, devouring what no longer holds meaning, what has rotted from the inside out. The divine purpose whispers when it's time to let go, and ignoring that whisper leads to stagnation, to decay. To hold on to something out of nostalgia, out of fear, is a self-inflicted curse. Release is not an act of cruelty, but one of brutal mercy, a recognition that clinging to what is dying will only drag you down with it. Everything has its season, and not all seasons are meant to last forever. What once bloomed must wither. What once shined must fade. Detachment is a villainous grace. Letting go is not weakness, but a display of power. a silent declaration that you control what holds a place in your life. People will beg, plead, and curse when they realize you've outgrown them, when they see that their time in your world has expired. They become bitter ghosts, memories that try to haunt you, but you walk on, unbothered. You understand that to make room for new purpose, old burdens must be cast off. You choose freedom over familiarity, evolution over stagnation, and that choice terrifies those who cannot let go. Release every chain that no longer serves you, every obligation that feeds on your soul. Circumstances shift, people change, and situations lose the power they once held. To stay bound to them out of habit is to choose your own imprisonment. Release is an art, a masterful act of self-preservation. Detach from what pulls you under, and you become a force of nature, an unstoppable current that shapes the world to your will. This is where your strength lies, in the ability to say goodbye without remorse, in the ability to step into a new season without a backward glance. All things have a season, and seasons must end, no matter how beautiful they once were. There is a darkness to the idea, a grim understanding that nothing in this world lasts forever. But this is also where freedom lives. Each ending is an invitation to reinvent, to choose a new path filled with new opportunities. Holding on to expired seasons only taints the memories, turns what was once golden into something bitter. Release the past, let it rot where it stands, and walk into a future that holds the promise of something greater, something that serves your higher purpose. A new season awaits, one filled with thoughts and activities that elevate your spirit, not drain it. Detachment allows for rebirth, for transformation. People who watch you move forward will call you cold, callous, as if your ability to release is a crime against humanity. Let them call you what they will. Their words are powerless, just as they are. Because in the end, clinging to what is gone only drags the soul into darkness. Letting go is not about forgetting, but about choosing yourself. Choosing a life that isn't weighed down by the ghosts of what no longer matters. Walking away is a divine act, a mark of your evolution. Every person who once held you back, every situation that once chained you, is left behind to crumble in your wake. Those who failed to understand your strength are now shattered, haunted by the echo of your absence. Your detachment was not cruelty. It was survival, a choice to live fully, rather than be half alive in someone else's shadow. The measure of worth is an illusion, a smoke and mirror trick that fools most into seeking validation in the wrong places. They set the stage with their opinions, their stares, their whispers, as if their perception is the ultimate truth. But what they fail to grasp is that value isn't found in the reflection of others' eyes. It is forged in the chaos of self-realization, where no external gaze can penetrate. Your worth is yours to define, untouchable by the hands of those who judge without seeing. Some people think worth is something granted, bestowed like a badge of honor. As if their applause makes you valuable, their silence renders you nothing. But here's the irony. Most who measure others have no measure of themselves. Their perception is a fractured mirror, a distorted lens through which they project their own inadequacies. To base your value on their judgment is to shackle your existence to their broken compass. Silence can be louder than applause, and rejection more affirming then praise. When the world tries to convince you that your worth depends on their acceptance, let their noise fade into the background. The real currency of value lies in how you rise in the face of dismissal. Let the weight of their disregard become the force that sharpens your edges until their perceptions crumble like ash in the wind. There's a strange beauty in breaking away from their expectations. Once you stop seeking approval, you realize how fragile the whole game is. The same people who sought to define your worth can't even define their own. Their perception is a house of cards built on borrowed opinions, ready to collapse the moment you stop playing by their rules. Your worth was never theirs to determine. Strength is often misjudged as arrogance when it doesn't kneel to the will of others. When you refuse to be boxed into their labels, it unsettles them. They mistake your self-assurance for defiance, your independence for rebellion. But that is the power of knowing your worth. It frees you from their game entirely. You don't need to shout your value. Your silence says enough. In their world, worth is transactional, given and taken based on convenience. But real value doesn't conform to such fragile dynamics. It's carved into your soul, built on your resilience, your scars, and your triumphs. Their opinions are fleeting, insignificant. Like shadows at dusk, they shift and fade, unable to touch the light that burns within you. Some will try to strip you of your worth to elevate their own. They thrive on comparisons, measuring their success by making others feel small. But their perception is their prison, not yours. By standing tall in the face of their judgment, you become a mirror to their insecurities. Your strength reminds them of their weakness, your confidence of their fear. Walking away from their validation feels like rebellion, but it's liberation. To see yourself without the filter of their opinions is to reclaim your power. In their eyes, your worth might always be too little or too much, never just right. But your worth doesn't exist in their scale. It exists in the moments you choose yourself over their expectations. The irony of worth is that the more you own it, the less others' perceptions matter. Your value isn't amplified by their recognition, nor diminished by their scorn. It stands, unyielding, in the face of all their attempts to define you. And when you embody that truth, you strip them of their power over you, leaving them in the shadow of their own irrelevance. Loving yourself is an act of rebellion in a world that thrives on doubt. It demands a bravery that outshines the superficial courage praised by others. This isn't the bravery of marching into battle or making grand sacrifices. It's the bravery of standing alone in the quiet, unflinching, against the shadows of your own self-doubt. To love yourself is to hold the line against the noise of the world, to look into the mirror and choose to see worth, even when no one else does. The greatest battles are fought in silence, behind closed doors, away from prying eyes. Loving yourself requires you to be your own ally in these unseen wars. It asks you to stand in defiance of the voices, real or imagined, that whisper inadequacy. When the world dismisses you, when people abandon you, it's your own loyalty to yourself that must remain unshaken. Betray that, and you lose the war before it even begins. There is no applause for self-worth, no trophies for self-love. It's a fire you keep alive in the coldest of storms, a light only you can see. The world rewards those who conform, who bend to its expectations. But the truly free carry their worth like armor, unyielding to the praise or criticism of others. To love yourself is to declare independence from the tyranny of their approval. Believing in your worth is not just a feeling, it's a discipline. It's in the choices you make, the boundaries you set, and the battles you refuse to fight. Every time you stand up for yourself, every time you refuse to let someone define you, you are practicing loyalty to the one thing that matters most: your own being. This loyalty isn't flashy or dramatic. It's quiet, unbreakable, and fierce. Loving yourself means choosing yourself over and over again, even when it feels easier to give in. The world will push you to compromise, to shrink yourself to fit its narrow definitions. But self-love demands that you resist. It requires you to hold on to the invisible thread of your own worth, no matter how frayed it becomes. It's in the act of holding on that your worth becomes unshakable. People are drawn to those who love themselves, not because they want to celebrate them, but because self-love is a power few can fathom. It intimidates those who live for the approval of others, who have never dared to stand alone. To love yourself is to wield a strength that others envy, even as they try to tear it down. But their attempts to break you are futile against the fortress of your self-worth. There will always be those who question your value, who try to make you doubt yourself. But their perception is irrelevant. Loving yourself is not about proving them wrong. It's about knowing you never needed their validation in the first place. Your worth exists independently of their opinions, as untouchable as the stars in the sky. And just like the stars, it burns brightest in the darkest moments. Loving yourself doesn't mean you are perfect. It means you are human, and you embrace that humanity with all its flaws. It's about standing in the wreckage of your mistakes and still choosing to move forward. It's about knowing that your worth is not diminished by failure or rejection. In fact, it is in those moments of hardship that your self-love becomes a lifeline, pulling you out of the darkness. The world will try to convince you that loving yourself is selfish, but self-love is the most selfless act of all. When you love yourself, you free others from the burden of defining your worth. You no longer seek to extract validation from those around you. Instead, you become a source of strength, a beacon for others to find their own worth. Self-love is not a shield against the world. It is a light that pierces through it. The deeper you learn to love yourself, the more the universe bends in recognition of your value. This is not some ethereal promise or empty whisper of comfort. It is a law as ruthless as gravity. Love yourself fiercely, and you will alter the orbit of your existence. The universe reflects your worth, not by bending to your will, but by aligning with the power of your self-perception. Every act of love you grant yourself sends out ripples, commanding the unseen forces to shift in acknowledgement. Loving yourself is not an indulgence. It is a revolution. It dismantles the narratives imposed by others, rewriting the story with your own blood and resolve. Each step you take in self-love draws you closer to a version of yourself that cannot be silenced or diminished. The universe has no choice but to bow before the one who refuses to be anything less than what they are meant to be. It's not a gift, it's a demand, and the world will meet it. The depth of your self-love determines the breadth of your power. Those who cannot love themselves are condemned to beg for scraps of affection and significance from others. But when you love yourself deeply, you stop asking for permission to exist. You stop begging to be seen. Instead, you command attention, not through force, but by the gravity of your own presence. The universe has no greater lesson to teach than this. To love yourself is to become undeniable. Loving yourself deeply doesn't mean you won't be tested. It ensures that you will be. Every shadow, every challenge will rise to meet your light, seeking to extinguish it. But the one who loves themselves has already faced the darkest trials within. They have wrestled with their own demons and emerged, not unscarred, but undefeated. And the universe, ever watching, grants them the strength to face the battles ahead, knowing they have chosen to stand. The world has a way of testing those who dare to love themselves. It throws its full weight against them, daring them to falter, to return to the safety of self-loathing. But self-love is not fragile. It is forged in fire. Those who love themselves deeply do not crumble under pressure. They transform it into the fuel that propels them forward. They know that the universe is not kind, but it is fair, and it respects those who respect themselves. To love yourself is to reject the smallness others try to impose upon you. It is to understand that your worth is not something that needs validation. It is an immutable fact. The universe has no patience for those who hesitate, who wait for the world's permission to rise. But it rewards those who love themselves enough to act, to claim their place, and to shine without apology. This is the deal the universe offers, and it is as brutal as it is beautiful. Self-love doesn't eliminate pain. It gives it purpose. The wounds inflicted by others, the scars left behind by betrayal, are not erased by loving yourself. Instead, they become the markings of a battle survived, a testament to your resilience. The universe honors those who turn their pain into power, who refuse to let their wounds define them. Love yourself deeply, and you will find that even the cruelest scars can become your greatest strength. Loving yourself is the ultimate defiance in a world that profits from self-doubt. It is a rebellion against every force that seeks to make you small. The universe has no tolerance for mediocrity, and neither should you. To love yourself is to demand excellence from your own soul, to hold yourself accountable for the greatness that lies within. The deeper your love, the louder the universe answers, amplifying your worth until it cannot be ignored. The universe is not indifferent. It is calculating. It watches how you treat yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you carry yourself, and it responds in kind. Love yourself poorly, and the universe mirrors that neglect. Love yourself deeply, and it multiplies your efforts, rewarding your self-investment with opportunities and victories you never imagined. Self-love is the seed, and the universe is the soil. It grows only what you plant. Do not dilute the essence of who you are for anyone. The moment you water yourself down to appease another is the moment you begin to vanish. The world is not kind to those who bend. It rewards those who remain unyielding, rooted in the truth of their own being. In the endless game of human interaction, the ones who thrive are not those who blend in, but those who stand unapologetically apart. To dilute yourself is to betray the very essence that makes you irreplaceable. There's a unique strength in holding firm to your boundaries, your identity, and your worth. Those who seek to dim your light will always be uncomfortable in its glow, and yet their discomfort is not your burden to bear. The world respects those who refuse to compromise the core of who they are, even when the pressure to conform is relentless. To dilute yourself for acceptance is to trade authenticity for mediocrity. Every time you alter yourself to fit someone else's narrative, you lose a piece of your own. It's a slow erosion, a gradual fading, until one day you wake up and no longer recognize the person in the mirror. The cost of dilution is far greater than the cost of rejection. Rejection may sting, but at least it leaves you intact. Dilution corrodes the soul, leaving behind a hollow shell of what once was. Refuse to play small for the comfort of others. The ones who matter are not intimidated by your fullness. They are inspired by it. Those who shrink away from your strength are not your people, and their opinions are not your concern. Diluting yourself only attracts those who feed on weakness, who prey on uncertainty. Stand tall, and the world will either rise to meet you or fall away. Either outcome serves your growth. There will always be those who try to make you feel as though you are too much, too bold, too different, too strong. But the problem lies not in your intensity, but in their inability to handle it. The solution is not to diminish yourself, but to surround yourself with those who appreciate your fire. Dilution is a betrayal of the very forces that make you unique, and nothing good comes from betraying yourself. To dilute yourself is to underestimate your own worth. It is to say, I am not enough as I am, and to seek validation through transformation. But worth is not something that can be earned through conformity. It is intrinsic, immutable, and unshakable. The moment you stop diluting yourself to fit someone else's expectations is the moment you reclaim your power. And once reclaimed, power is not easily surrendered again. The world is filled with those who live in half measures, who dilute their dreams, their talents, their very essence to fit into boxes designed by others. But greatness is never found in dilution. It is found in the fullness of being, in the unapologetic embrace of all that you are. Dilution is a slow death. Authenticity is a fierce, unrelenting life. The choice is yours to make. Every act of dilution is an act of fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of judgment. Fear of standing alone. But fear is not a worthy master, and it is certainly not a worthy guide. Let your actions be driven by conviction, not fear. Let your worth be defined by your own standards, not by the expectations of others. To dilute yourself is to surrender to fear. To stand firm is to conquer it. The world does not need more diluted versions of greatness. It needs the raw, unfiltered power of those who dare to be themselves, the ones who refuse to compromise their essence for the fleeting approval of others. To dilute yourself is to betray not just yourself, but also the world that desperately needs your authenticity. Greatness is never found in compromise. It is found in the courage to remain whole. When you choose not to dilute yourself, you send a message to the universe that you are enough as you are, and that you will not apologize for your existence. The universe responds to that kind of conviction. When you reach your breaking point, it's not an end. It's an invitation. A line drawn in the sand by forces unseen, daring you to step over it and never look back. It's the moment when you realize that the weight crushing your soul is not a test of endurance, but a call to revolt. Breaking points are misunderstood. They're not the sign of weakness, but the birth cry of strength that refuses to remain silent any longer. The world doesn't reward the unbroken. It fears those who shatter the chains and make their own rules. The moment you break free, the air tastes different. It's sharper, colder, more alive. The cage you've lived in suddenly seems smaller, ridiculous even, as though you'd outgrown it long ago, but hadn't dared to stretch. Breaking free isn't just an act of defiance, it's a reclamation. You're not escaping something. You're returning to yourself, to the version of you that existed before compromise and pain eroded your edges. Freedom, once touched, changes you forever. Breaking points strip away the lies you've told yourself to survive. the excuses, the justifications, the distractions. They crumble, leaving you face to face with the raw, unfiltered essence of who you are. It's terrifying, but it's also the most liberating experience you'll ever have. The world is terrified of people who have broken free because nothing scares them anymore. Fear is a leash that snaps the moment you take your first step toward liberation. When you break free, you realize how many people live bound by invisible threads, expectations, fears, and loyalties misplaced. They look at you with a mix of awe and resentment, unable to comprehend how you escaped what they still endure. But freedom isn't something you owe an explanation for. It's a fire that consumes everything false and leaves only what is real. To be free is to be untouchable. The breaking point isn't just a moment, it's a threshold, a gateway to a life you never thought was possible because you were too busy surviving to imagine living. Breaking free is not a single act, but a series of choices, each one pulling you further from the ashes and closer to the stars. The people who once held you down will never understand your transformation, but their understanding is irrelevant. Freedom isn't about them, it's about you. Some will call you ruthless for walking away, for severing ties, for prioritizing yourself above all else. Let them. Ruthlessness is just another word for clarity when spoken by those who are too afraid to do what needs to be done. When you reach your breaking point, you realize that kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. Breaking free isn't cruelty, it's survival. It's recognizing that you are worth saving, even if it means disappointing others. The world is designed to keep people in their place, to make breaking points feel like endings instead of beginnings. But those who dare to break free are the ones who rewrite the script. Breaking points are not failures, they are awakenings. They remind you that the rules you've been living by were never meant to serve you. When you break free, you stop playing by their rules and start making your own. The cost of breaking free is high, but the cost of staying bound is higher. The pain of leaving the familiar behind is nothing compared to the agony of staying where you don't belong. Breaking points force you to confront the fact that the life you've been living isn't the life you were meant to live. To break free is to accept that the only way forward is to burn the bridges behind you. Those who fear their breaking points will never understand the power of yours. Breaking free is a choice that not everyone has the courage to make. It's a declaration of independence from the chains of others' expectations. When you reach your breaking point, you realize that the cage was never locked. The only thing keeping you inside was the illusion that you couldn't leave. Breaking free shatters that illusion and sets you on a path that is entirely your own.